Welcome to another edition of Maryland's Missing and the Murdered. My name is Kara Stone, and here is a little information about this channel. Maryland's Missing and the Murdered is a weekly YouTube channel, and this week we are covering the story of Marciana Ringo. Marciana Ringo was born on May 3, 1994, to Milagro White and Mark Ringo. A few years after that, her brother Mark Jr. was born. Marcy, as she was called, was a bright and happy child who attended Northwood Elementary School in Baltimore, Maryland. She was considered a mentor at school. In 2000, Milagro White met Jamal Abiakuto. Jamal Abiakuto developed a close relationship with both Marcy and Mark Jr., taking them to doctor's appointments, attending PTA meetings, football practice, and spending nights at Milagro's apartment. They dated for a while, but split up because Milagro White felt that Jamal Abiakuto wasn't contributing financially. Abiakuto started working part-time for C&S Wholesalers in Aberdeen, Maryland, and also taking a commercial truck driving course. In November 2002, Milagro and Jamal got back together and planned on moving in together the following month. During Thanksgiving 2002, Milagro and Jamal got into an argument over phone calls that Milagro was having with an ex-boyfriend. On the evening of December 2nd, 2002, Abiakuto came over to Milagro White's apartment. He was upset because one of his friends had died, and he spent the night. The following morning, on December 3rd, 2002, Milagro left for her job at Goucher College around 7:10 a.m. Abiakuto was still asleep while Mark Jr. and Marcy were getting ready for daycare and school. At 7:35 a.m., Milagro called and spoke to Abiakuto, who stated that Marcy had left for school, which was right across the street, and he was waiting for Mr. Ringo to pick Mark Jr. up for daycare. Mr. Ringo picked Mark Jr. up for daycare at 7:45 a.m. At 11 a.m., Abiakuto called Milagro to remind her to search for a new daycare for Mark Jr. closer to his house in preparation of their move together. At 12:45 p.m., Abiakuto again called Milagro and stated that he had driven to her apartment to pick up a book for his driving class later that afternoon, but had locked his keys and phone in the apartment. He had had to use a neighbor's phone to call her. The neighbor suggested that he walk across the street to school to get the extra key from Marcy, but Abiakuto stated that he was in a hurry. He asked Milagro if he could meet her at work so he could get the keys and her ATM card to pay for the cab. After receiving the keys, he arrived at the driving school at 3 p.m. When Milagro White returned home from work, she discovered a message from Marcy's school stating that Marcy was absent that day. Milagro White called police, and the police responded to her appointment on Leith Road about 4:45 p.m. Milagro and Mark Ringo Sr. were both present when police arrived. The officer called Abiakuto at his truck driving class, advised him that Marcy was missing, and for him to come to the apartment. When Abiakuto arrived, the police started questioning him about that morning. Abiakuto stated that Marcy walked to school, but returned home to get her homework signed. He then drove her across the street to school and dropped her off. A detective then requested that everyone, the parents and Abiakuto, be taken to the missing persons unit. All three were interviewed separately. A neighbor also showed up and stated that she did see Marcy that morning and get into Abiakuto's car. Mark Sr. told police that he did not see Marcy at all that morning. The detectives started to become suspicious of Abiakuto due to his flippant attitude. So the detective called the homicide unit in to investigate, and Abiakuto was transported by police car to the homicide unit. At the homicide unit, Abiakuto started to relay his day to the detectives in further detail. He said that he drove to work in Aberdeen and clocked in at 8 a.m. Now, I know these areas very well. There is no way he went from northeast Baltimore City to Aberdeen in 20 minutes in rush hour morning traffic. There's no way. The police knew that this was impossible as well. Abiakuto then stated he left work at 1 p.m. to go get his book for class at Malagro's apartment. Abiakuto's time card stated that he punched out at 1:35 p.m. and looking at the phone logs, he called Milagro White at 1:28 p.m. When the police pressed him for the truth, he admitted that a coworker had punched his time card for him that afternoon. The following day, on December the 4th, Abiakuto and Milagro White both took polygraph tests. During the interrogation, the police were very busy, searching the apartment grounds and Abiakuto's car. In the car, the police found a 9mm gun and 15 bullets. They also found a Walmart receipt from the previous day, on December the 3rd, when Marcy went missing, for a pair of blue jeans. On the apartment grounds behind a dumpster was a Walmart bag containing a pair of bloody blue jeans and white gloves with blood on them. Also in the bags were labels for the jeans listed on the Walmart receipt found in Abiakuto's car. After this discovery, the police asked Abiakuto to show them the label on the jeans he was wearing. The label that is sewn in on the jeans matched the label found in the Walmart bag. Police asked for the pants, and Abiakuto took them off and gave them to police. The police then noticed a smear of blood on his socks and hat, so they asked for all the clothes that he was wearing. Abiakuto then invoked his right to remain silent, and the interview ended. He was then driven to his mother's house. The investigation continued, and police found that Abiakuto made conflicting statements regarding what happened on December the 3rd. Bank records and Walmart surveillance videos at 12:30 p.m. showed Abiakuto buying blue jeans at the Aberdeen Walmart. At 12:43 p.m., he called Milagro White for the keys. He picked up the keys from her at 2 p.m. and returned within the hour to return them to her. DNA was run on the hat and socks Abiakuto had on. They determined to be his DNA. DNA was also run on the gloves and jeans found in the Walmart bag. They were determined to be Marcy's. On December the 5th, Milagro White received a letter in the mail with a ransom note for $5,000 stating, quote, "If she die, let's just say we even, an eye for an eye," end quote. Milagro White gave the letter and envelope to the police. They tested the letter for fingerprints and DNA. Abiakuto's fingerprint was on the letter, and his DNA was on the envelope. On December the 12th, 2002, two boys walking home from school in Joppa, Maryland, found Marcy's body. It was in a wooded area near Joppa Farm Road and Haverhill Road. She was found partially covered in snow, with her pink coat splattered in blood. Marcy had leaves gripped in her hand and defensive cuts on them. The medical examiner determined that she died from her throat being slashed almost to the point of decapitation and a blunt force injury to her head. By the time Marcy was found, Abiakuto had fled the state of Maryland. On December 24, 2002, police found him barricaded in a Birmingham, Alabama hotel room under another name. He was charged with first-degree murder and kidnapping. He admitted to the police that he stabbed Marcy and kicked her repeatedly in the head because voices told him that if he killed her, that it would make him and Milagro White closer. A psychiatrist determined that he was lying about a mental illness. In 2004, Jamal Abiakuto was convicted of murder and was given the death penalty. However, in 2006, the state of Maryland abolished the death penalty and Abiakuto was automatically given life without parole. Thank you for joining me this week. If you would like to get in touch with me, please email me at marylandsmissing@gmail.com. Music is by Silent Vengeance. Sources will be listed in the outro. I will see you again next week. Be kind to one another. You never know what will happen tomorrow.